you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Picnic Table Chat Show. This is episode 8, no, season 8, episode 12. And I want to say a massive welcome to everyone on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Thank you for coming in and watching for another episode. I will answer that in 2 seconds, Norfolk. Um, Actually, I'll answer it now because I think I've said my intro piece. You forgot the. Oh, hey, Craig, you're right. And hey, Lee, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Yeah, we haven't added cheese or biscuits, but they have got the ham. Um, we only put this in like literally, what, 10 minutes ago, maybe 15 minutes ago. We put in the first slice, and we've just put in the other two slices a few minutes ago, and they're already smashing it in. This is my big dive colony. They are very active at the minute. In fact, there's about a good 100 or so running around the glass on the main tank, just one piece of glass. So we thought it was time to. You can actually see a Mario worm there in the top, no, bottom right hand corner. It was just a Mario worm in the leaf litter. So that's pretty interesting. Sorry, the wife just came in to get my cup because she's going to make me a coffee. That's a good wife, isn't it? I will say now, at some point, I might have to mute the stream just for 2 seconds. The wife is selling something on Facebook, and it's always better if I'm about when you've got a stranger coming to your house. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just for those purposes. Good evening, Antisocial. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Right. What was the question? So a nest for about 20 to 40 workers. Now I have the small ones on my website, obviously. They are, I think, 3 chambers. Basically, they're quite small. They'd be about right. And then you could look at getting something a bit bigger later on. There's lots of different options. The only thing with Mesa is you want to have it completely blacked out, like, because red doesn't work. Red light doesn't work for Mesa. You want to have it completely blacked out. And obviously, they can chew. So they can chew through certain materials. So obviously be aware of that. Anything that you put them in, they could probably chew through eventually if they work hard enough. And we've just been invaded by my youngest daughter. So everyone say hello, Evie. And Evie, you say hello, everyone. Say hello.
Hey!
There we go. You gonna go out with mummy because daddy's working.
You have to lock the door.
Okay.
Come on, let's go.
Go on, Evie. You go that way, darling.
This way.
Daddy can. There we go. And we're back. Sorry about that. Hello, Evan. Thank you for popping up. Yeah, I've locked the office door now, so we shouldn't be invaded again by Evie. That is my youngest. I think I've told it a million times, but she was non-verbal this time last year. She couldn't say a single word. So, and she is 8 now. So, it's nice that she's making those noises and words, forming words now. Whatever. Right, so back to the nests. Ooh, there's loads of different options. It really depends on what kind of thing you're into. Something that takes your fancy. You could go with something a bit more, novelty, or you could go with something a bit more serious. Like I say, I've got a couple on the website at the minute if you want to check out the website. But really, the world is your oyster. You could put them in a natural setup if you want. For 20 to 40 workers, they'd probably be all right in a natural setup. My Mesa Structor went into their natural setup, probably around 50 workers, maybe 55, and they're doing really super well. They're in the hundreds at the moment. I never actually show them on stream. I'll tell you why. They're boring. They only really come above the ground when they're digging or when they're eating, and the rest of the time they spend at the bottom of the drainage layer dealing with their brood, basically. You're going to hear the door getting kicked in now because Evie's outside. So moving on just slightly, I am going to mention it now. It's running across the bottom of the stream, but I have a massive raffle running right now for the Bristol event in August. You don't have to attend the event to win a prize. We will post it out to you and you can play online. We're probably going to stream it live if I can sort that out, basically, because we were supposed to do that in Sheffield, but the technology and my phone dying and everything, it just was stretched too far, so we couldn't stream it live. But we will be hopefully streaming this one live, and obviously if you come to the show, we'll be there doing it on the main stage. Either way, it's a great way to support the show. It's a non-profit event, so obviously all profits and money from the raffle gets put, it goes places. It goes towards like research, conservation. Some of it gets put back into the shows for the next show, hoping to eventually become completely self-sufficient, so I don't have to keep putting money in out my own pocket, which would be nice. One day maybe. But yeah, so it all helps things go towards a good cause, you know. And if you want to support the show, it's a great way of doing it without coming. And it's only £2.50 a ticket, or if you spend a tenner, you get 5 tickets. Simple as that. It's a much better option to spend a tenner and get your 5. I know Antisocial, you should probably get on it because there's some brilliant prizes, ant-wise. There's some cool millipede stuff. So Mantis Garden, you might be interested. There's a whole range of stuff for everyone, you know what I mean? And not just invert and ant prizes as well. There's all sorts of stuff being donated. What was it? The Bristol Aerospace Museum. So if you're coming to the show and you win this prize, you could go the next day to the Bristol Aerospace Museum with your whole family. They've donated a family pass. We've got some really cool prizes, basically. Some really great support from the community in Bristol as well. So yeah, get on it, get your raffle tickets. You've got ages to get your raffle tickets, but get on it, get your raffle tickets. Do not miss out on that. Yeah, simple as that. I won't say another word about it. It's running along the bottom. I shouldn't need to keep going over it. You'll remember. How is my hog nose doing? It's doing really well, apart from the fact that it's had a poo like earlier today. And that means it needs cleaning out, which I've never actually done before. So I'm going to call my good buddy Paul, and I'm going to ask him to come over, hopefully tomorrow, and show me exactly what I need to do. I mean, it's fairly easy. It's, you know, it's not rocket science how to clean an enclosure, but I want to make sure I'm doing it correctly. And it's always good to see Paul. Good evening, Ant Farm Supplies. Paul is Cookie Reptiles, if you didn't know. So it's always good to see Paul. He comes over quite regularly, and he's very good at handling the snake. And he's helping me learn how to handle my snake. Obviously, I'm very new to snakes, still a little bit timid about them. Getting it out is the hardest thing for me. Once it's out and it gets past me, that is easy. I can deal with that. But it's trying to get the handle of getting hold of it, you know what I mean? Getting hold of him. We call the snake Steve. Steve the snake. It's a friendly name. You know, you could take that to the shows and the events with the kids, and they're like Steve the snake. I kind of imagine him wearing a top. I think it's, but back in my day, I can't even remember what the program was, but there was like teddy bears, there was a cat, and there was a worm which wore a hat and drove an Apple car. No idea, but that's kind of what he reminds me of. That worm which had the Apple car and a little hat. Yeah, thank you, Norfolk. Thank you. Yeah, he's absolutely awesome. Like I say, he ate a few days ago, and now he's had that poo. I kind of need to deal with that. But he's doing really well. I think he's doing really. I came down this morning, and as I always do, I have a look in pretty much all the enclosures. I looked in his, and he's got like 2 round air vents in his enclosure, and he was literally coiled up completely in one of the air vents. He wasn't talking to he wasn't touching the bottom of the enclosure at all. It was just. He was curled up. It was pretty cool. You've got a stick called a stick or a stick insect. Because if it's just a stick, like, what do you do with Steve? Like, that's your beating stick, is it? We all need one of those. Oh dear. So what was it? my hands, right, before I move on to anything else ant related, my hands are absolutely murdering me right now. I spent the whole day pretty much in the garden. Well, I spent half the day in the garden. The first half this morning, I was waiting for our strimmer to turn up because I had to order a new one. And then as soon as it turned up, got out in the garden, and I kid you not, now I say it's no mow May, right? You don't mow your lawn for the whole May. That's fine, but I wasn't expecting it to grow as tall as me, right? I'm down there, and the missus couldn't even see me. Like, it was as tall as me, in places taller, with like big, thick weeds and thorns. Not so much thorns, but like, it's not bramble. I always forget what they're called. They're not the dandelions. They're not thistles. They're like another thorny thing, anyways. And like loads of them. And yeah, I am absolutely covered. Obviously, I cut them all down, but then moving them into the compost area, I've got so many needles in my hands right now. It is just, and no, I can deal with quite a lot, but like, they're right in the end. It's not blackberry or privet. It's like they remind me of elephant leaf a bit, but they're spiky. Then I'll have to take a picture and show you. It's not hawthorn. No, I thought that, but it wasn't. I will show you at some point. But the leaf cutters absolutely love it. In fact, it's about 50% of their diet because I've had so much of it in the garden. But it is spiky and it's annoying. And little needles are so tiny, they like work their way in and you'll never get them out again. Or if, I don't know, your body may be squeezing them out. I don't know how it works, but it hurts. And they're like little pins every time I touch something and do anything with my fingers, which is quite annoying on a computer when you're tapping away and typing. But it is what it is. But my garden looks absolutely amazing now. I forgot it might well be polycanthia. I don't know. I'm not that great with random plant names. I know the ones I know, if you know what I mean. I don't really know the wild ones, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a picture and post it in the Discord. I'll do that probably tomorrow because it's a bit late now. It'll be dark by the time we're done here. But yeah, it looks so much better. I forget how big my garden actually is because it was just a forest. You literally couldn't hardly see out the windows. But yeah, so looking down, it doesn't have berries, no. I think it just grows really, really tall. It sucks up loads of moisture. I tell you, it's a very wet plant. Like when you cut it, it will bleed essentially, for quite a while. Big leaves, like big, like elephant ear leaf sort of things, but they're covered in spikes. But like I say, I'll take a picture. It's not relevant right now. But irritating anyways. I had loads of it. Literally half my garden was grass, half of my garden was that, and they were tall. And like, yeah, just covered in needles all over my body, really. But my hands got it worse, which is weird because you'd think like the rest of my body would be more sensitive than my hands because I work with my hands all the time. They're quite thick, but I suppose I was picking it up with my hand. Yeah, that's probably it. But yeah, the garden looks much better. I've kept as many of the wild plants as I could, right? All the nice ones, anyways. I went round them in like circles. I'm probably gonna, because I've got big plans for my garden over the next year. Bear in mind, I've only been here 6 months. We've moved in just before Christmas, so this is our first summer here. I really want to make the most of our garden. I've been told I've got to put in more permission. Basically, what I asked for, I'm already changing the plans because I'm decided I'm going to need a retaining wall around it, so I'm going to have to put in permission and all sorts of things like that, and wait basically. So next year we're going to be doing all of that. This year we're just going to try and enjoy it. So we've left the wild plants in place for now, but like I said, I'll probably dig them up and actually have a wild plant patch next to my vegetable patch, which I'm also going to have. But we're doing a vegetable patch this year because that's a money saver, man. Let's get on that. Anything to save money these days. Can we give our species that farm aphids from outside? That is a great question. You should be able to, but obviously there's always the risk of other parasites getting in as well from anything outside. But yes, you should be able to. If you're looking at aphids, speak to Mantis Garden because he is breeding them at the minute and he might well have some for sale. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for Mantis Garden because I actually don't know about that one. I probably should know. You can slap me for it later, Mantis Garden. But yeah, there you go. There you go. Selling them soon. I'm probably going to get a culture as well because it's not something I've had, but I've got so many ants that will do really well with them. Yeah, I'll probably get a culture as well. It's definitely something worth looking into because of the benefits of it, especially in a bioactive environment. You know, the Polyrhacus dies would love to have some aphids. It'd be interesting to see it how it reacts, basically. But yeah, definitely go to Mantis Garden. He's the one to go to for stuff like that. So I'm just having a sip of my coffee. Cool, that's a bit better. Let's talk about the Polyrhacus dies. Do keep asking questions. If you've got any questions, do ask them. I'll make sure to press a star on them whilst I'm here in chat mode. So I do go back and answer all the questions. A bush outside absolutely covered in them. There you go. Well, if you've got them, use them. But just be aware they could come with other things. Like anything from outside. That's always the advice I give, even if it's like a leaf that you've inspected with a microscope. I will always say it, mainly to cover my own back. I don't want to advise something and it will go horribly wrong. You know what I mean? But yeah. Aphids are really cool. Like I said, I really wanted to keep a lot more of the. Yeah, they'll be great to put in there, Craig. Do it. I really wanted to keep a lot more of the plants because we've got such a great load of insects out there, jumping spiders, and I saw about 10 different types of caterpillars and all sorts of stuff, you know, really cool stuff in the garden, but it had to go. It had to go. Let's talk about the dives anyways. So, yeah, ham. Apparently they like ham. They love pork chops, and they've smashed in all the sugars. I only filled these towers up earlier today, and there's 4 in there. So that's great. I need to put in more sugars again. I tend not to use towers with them anymore because the towers, one, they sink into the ground, mainly because I suppose the amount it gets moved about and I don't know, but they sink into the ground after a while. Quite often they fall over as well in this environment. They just get knocked about by the beetles running and stuff like that. But the main thing is they just don't last. Like that really big test tube I put in lasted 3 or 4 days, and that literally holds about 50 times one of these towers. It's just ridiculous. They probably go through about a litre of our candy sugars every month. In fact, probably more than a litre, maybe even 2 litres every month, just on their own. It's an absolute insane colony to feed at the moment. We're just giving them ham right now because basically they were so busy they needed something. When I start seeing them, like, they'll start escaping if they're looking for food and you haven't got food in there and they go really looking into food mode. They will escape and they will go all around this house and they'll leave en masse looking for food. So it's much easier to just chuck something in, even though it's not a feeding day, just something small like this. We'll keep them covered for another couple of days before I do a big proper feed. And yes, this is a small feed. 3 pieces of ham is nothing compared to a pork chop, you know. Most of it's like air, I suppose. Should try something like sausages. Yeah, what I should do is a full fry up and put that in there one day. Like I'd have to cook it really carefully though, because I've got one policy: I don't put things in if they've been cooked in sauces or marinated in something or anything like that. In fact, I was a little bit dubious about the ham because it's not proper meat. Normally, I just chuck some normal straight meat in there, but you know, so that's my policy. So yeah, maybe we could do part of a fry up, like the bacon, the sausage, the egg, do some hash browns in there, some mushrooms. They probably won't eat the mushrooms, will they? I doubt they'd eat mushrooms. But we could do a fly up and see how much of a fly up they could devour in a day. That'd be a good video, actually. I'd probably watch that. Not if I did it myself. I'm just saying I don't sit here watching my own video. Sometimes I do. Like there was, in fact, that last one I put out of the dives, and then the other one I put out of the leaf cutters, I did sit and watch a couple of times. They were all like videos, especially for me. And, you know, I don't usually do good videos. I normally just chuck them out and say, there you go, enjoy. But no, I enjoyed that. I am putting a bit more effort into the videos when I do them. They're a bit more sporadic and not coming out regularly, but we're putting more effort into actually getting some good footage, having some great information in there, making them worth watching. So yes, they are more sporadic at the minute, but I'm just so all over the place. We are working on that, actually, splitting my time up, and we've got a few things going on in the background, which I'm not going to go into massive detail right now, but it should give me a bit more free time, and the business should really be booming as well, which would, like, I don't mean business, but like the ant stuff, the exhibition stuff, it should all just start growing and getting more on track, which is good, you know, it's good. Hognose could probably eat. Yeah, okay. Where are we? Where are we at? I'm just reading the comments, making sure I don't miss anything. If you live smack in the middle of the country, well, I'm going to mute it for 2 seconds whilst my wife does that Facebook sell. 2 seconds, everyone. And I'm back. As expected, I wasn't needed, but it's always worth being there, isn't it? Yes, please do share your channels. You're more than welcome to share your channels here. I have no issues with it, you know, especially if I like you. But yes, do share your channels. Make sure you're all following each other and whatnot, because we do not want to miss out. Might try one of them on the. Okay. So I'm just reading the comments again. Yeah, always risking pesticides and stuff. That is an issue. What were we talking about? I can't remember. Something about the dyes, wasn't it? Something about the dyes, I'm sure, and how they thrive in. Or no, it was about the shop, and then my time. Videos. Oh yeah, I remember. I remember all sorts of. I've actually lost track of where I was, but I kind of remember the topics that we were talking. Let's talk about the dives a little bit more. They've all good evening, Rosedana. Thank you for coming in. Are you okay? I hope everything's okay. I saw a post from you earlier, and I just want to say I hope you're okay. Yeah, so the dives have almost built to the actual corner of the tank now, which is quite impressive. Like they've covered another probably 5 or 6 inches over the last few days. There's a lot of activity to the right hand side again as well, which makes me think they might be starting to build that direction. They're just never ending at the moment, which is pretty cool, like because we can do stuff like this. But it is quite like, what are we going to do when they need more space? Which I'm already kind of thinking they do. I'm going to have to put up like a big bracket or something, another big old tank for them to run into. We might go back to the bridge in a minute because the bridge is pretty busy. Pretty busy, as you can expect. There's a lot of ants coming towards this, so my chair is so squeaky. I'm so thank you for that, Mantis Garden. Yeah, if you want to like the stream, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I do appreciate it, but only do it if you feel like I deserve it. Don't feel like you're forced into it. Like, I'm not going to send the ants to get you or carry you away. Although it has been speculated that around 40,000 ants can carry someone of my size and weight. Actually, someone a bit heavier than me because I've lost a bit of weight. When I was lifting my weights and competing, I was about 86 kilograms. And it's about 40,000 ants to carry 86 kilograms, which could carry you away or carry me away. They could definitely carry me away now. So, but yeah, feel free to hit that like button. A bit of random knowledge for you. And lots of new meds, and looks like that's good. Good to hear that it's stopping. And thank you very much, Norfolk. But yeah, that's good, Rose Donna. I hope you're gonna be okay. Like, obviously, we'll talk more privately. We won't speak about it on here, unless you know. But yeah, I hope you get home and everything's okay. Because you really had a bit of a rough ride lately. It kind of sucks. It does really suck, actually. Fun last day. Ah, yes, you went to Comic-Con. How was Comic-Con? Did you have a fantastic time? What did you dress up as? Actually, I already know something, but I'm going to let you share it with the community because it's pretty cool. So yeah, how was Comic-Con for you? Tell us about it. I've always wanted to go to Comic-Con. It's not one I've been to, but it does seem really cool. Like, my brothers go, my older and my younger brother go every year to like the local one anyways, and it's like, you guys suck, why don't you ever take me? I've never been invited to go with them. I'm just going to point that out, so I hope they can't listen to the stream and feel really guilty about it and invite me out of guilt. They're not going to invite me because they want me there. So we'll run with the guilt factor. But yeah, Comic-Con's awesome. I love the way everyone's dressed up. In fact, when I used to go to Drum Alive, I think it was 2007, they held it in the Excel Centre in London. And I tell you, I got lost on the way there. I spent at least half the day lost on the tube trying to find my way around London. I had Burger King. It was amazing, but I couldn't find the venue. I finally got to the venue after like asking a million people. And I can hear fireworks. Why is there fireworks going off on? Is there? I know it's a bank holiday, but is there actually a reason for the fireworks? Am I missing something? It's right in front of me. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty, like literally out of my office window right now. Oh, good night, Norfolk. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Well, that was interesting. Just a random load of fireworks. How weird. What was I talking about? That's completely thrown me off. That's completely thrown me off again. What was I talking about? Can anyone remind me what I was talking about? God, my memory's awful at a minute. On short term, anyways. How weird. I literally cannot remember anything. Oh, we were talking about Comic-Con. That's why, because it wasn't ant related. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So I went off to Drummer Live, and it was 2007. Got to the Excel Centre, and there was like a Pokemon exhibition or something in the room opposite. postage. Yeah, all right, Matt, it's going. Thank you. Well, like none of my other mods are in stream at the minute. They're all on holiday and stuff, having a quick break before I put them to hard work before the show and at the show. The Bristol show, I'm going to be running them ragged. All of my staff are going to be run ragged all day because everyone keeps telling me that I need to delegate more and let people help me. So it turns out I do the work of about 12 people. So I was given 10 people a whole day's worth of work. You know what I mean, volunteering. It is, yeah, there's a lot to be done apparently. I didn't realize I actually did that much. It's one of those things you just get on with it. I do this all the time. I just, I just do things, and then I come back to it. I'm like, actually, I've done quite a lot. I've been at this computer like 40. You know what I mean when you just get into work. It is, I suppose, the ADHD and the hyper focusedness, but I control mine a lot better. Like, people with ADHD tend to get hyper focused from one thing to the next, whereas mine just stays focused until the job's done. Again, another trait a lot of ADHD sufferers suffer with is not finishing many jobs. I tend to finish the jobs that I start. I might go back to them 2 or 3 times, but I do tend to finish things. I'm just looking at this ham. This ham is not going to last very long. I'm quite surprised. People with ADHD are annoying for people that don't. Yes, that's very true. And I say it all the time. Between my ADHD and my autism and everything else I've got going on, I am quite annoying. And I what's the word? I'm quite hard-lined to work with. I have quite high expectations of people that work with me. And this is why I actually prefer to work on my own, because I just don't have that issue. If I have to job with someone, like, they should do more work. Just because of that, Mantis Garden, it's exactly that. See, I haven't got that. I focus in on something and then I finish it, but I tend to do about 1 million jobs at the same time. You know what I'm like, but I do tend to get things done. But I do know what you mean. But I find that because I get so focused, working hours just don't have a stop, as we know. And then other people are like, well, I'm not working anymore. And I'm like, I'm just trying to get an answer to an email, and trying to get an answer to an email at like 3 o'clock in the morning on a bank holiday Monday. You're just not going to get it from a proper company. And it's like, I wish everyone was like me and just get stuck into work. But no, don't. I don't wish everyone was like me. But yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, because I learned that I had it at such an early age, and I did have it quite severely in school as well. When I was in primary school, I really suffered with it, especially the autism side of it. Because I was aware of it, and then I think it must have been my mum or something sat me down and actually explained what the symptoms were. And as soon as I recognized my own symptoms and my own traits of it, and how to not manage it, but you know what I mean, it became easier to live with. And yeah, things like that. Like, I know that I'm gonna get distracted like that, go off topic, get completely distracted, and then might even forget what I'm doing. But the second I see it again, I finish it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things. You do what you gotta do. Yeah, your wife is a nuisance with it. Got to go. Thank you for those, Donna. You're an absolute star for coming in. Good luck. Keep us posted. Send me a message. I will get back to you. I think you sent me a message the other day, actually. If I don't answer on the Answer the Rock thing, send me one on the website or something, just as a poke, because sometimes I don't look on my Answer the Rock for a little while, especially like today where I've been in the garden all blimmin' day. But yes, good luck, Rose. We wish you all the best. All the best. Now, the most annoying trait about my ADHD, to go back to this, is my inability to sleep. Now, I was actually studied for this when I was really young. They sent me to hospital for about a year. I had electrodes on my brain. They monitored it. They even wrote books about it. Um, and I just didn't need sleep as a youngin. In fact, I was one of the test babies for a tablet called melatonin, which basically is naturally produced in your body anyways, but they give you tablets. I was a test baby for that back in the early 90s. Um, but my inability is, even now, the minute I open my eyes, it's like boom, I'm awake. So 5:15 I woke up this morning and I was awake, but within hours I could be knackered. But that's just like, you finish a big job and your whole body just goes, that's it, what's next? But again, it is what it is. You learn to deal with these things, and again, because I know it's traits of my ADHD and autism and things like that, I just push on with it and get on with it. I know kind of to ignore certain things. One thing that has come more recently, though, is anxiety. Now, I've never suffered with anxiety before, but I tell you, about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, I started getting weird kind of issues with it, and the doctor said, "Yeah, that's anxiety." I was like, "What? What? That's a weird one." So anyone that suffers with anxiety, my hat's off to you. Like, it's a weird one to deal with because you don't really know what's going on. I think that Mario worm's come back. I'm not really sure. That bottom right hand corner's wiggling again. It might be a Mario worm. It might just be a ton of ants. It might even be a beetle or something. You just never know with this tank. There's about 30 odd different species living in all three tanks. Well, actually, in two tanks, there's not anything living in the other tank apart from ants. But over the two bioactive tanks, there's over 30 different species of insects. So it could be anything, really. I mean, there could be a lot more than 30. I've counted 30. We tended to have like things fly in the summer back in the day. It used to be right next to the main door, basically. So if the door was left open, the back door, I mean, not the main door, but if the back door was open during the day, stuff would fly in, land in the tank, and that's that. Like, we had ladybugs in there, we found slugs and snails in there. There's loads of different spiders. The spiders are really helpful though because they stop the ants escaping so much. In fact, I can tell you the ants have been escaping to the point where I hadn't noticed it, but on top of the snail enclosure, I went to open it yesterday and there was about 10 dead ants. And what it looks like is they've got caught in the spider's web above and he's eaten them and dropped them down onto the lid of the enclosure overnight. So that's one happy spider. So he's doing quite well eating Polyrhacus dives. I've seen them get caught in the web before, and they do fight back. They are quite formidable. They do spray acid, and they do bite. But the spiders tend to hang back, wait for a little bit under it, and then they go in very cautiously. But I have seen them also get out of webs as well. So it's not a death sentence every time, but it is quite a lot. I'm at the point now where if they didn't grow anymore, I wouldn't be bothered. You know how you always say, "Oh, I want a bigger colony. I want more ants in my colony. I can't wait for them to grow." Well, these have grown, and I'd be quite happy if they stopped growing. I don't want them to stop altogether. Don't get me wrong, because they are absolutely amazing, and I love them to pieces. But I wouldn't be that worried if they were going to happily stay at this sort of size. Now, I don't know what size this colony will end at. Something like the Diacama, my Asian bullet ants, I knew they'd get to about 200 workers and stop. That is what they do. Now, I got how big is it? It's about 2 foot, their tank, 1.5 feet, 2 foot. If you came to the Sheffield show, you've seen it. If you come into the Bristol show, you will see it. I got to clean the glass so badly. It's literally just like white. Basically, every time I spray the plants and whatnot, a little bit of moisture will tackle the talcum powder barrier, and it'll start misting up a little bit. And there's calcium residue and things like that. I don't tend to clean the glass inside the tanks very often. Not in the dive tank anymore. Not so much in the Asian bullet ant tank. I do in the other ones because they're easier. The Asian bullet ants, if you get stung, it just really hurts. It sucks. And obviously the dives are all over the place. You don't even get 2 seconds to try and clean the glass. When I do, I use my really long tweezers and a piece of cotton. Whereas the Asian bullet ants, I gotta use my hands because it's like proper calcium stuck on marks. I scrub it basically. And I found actually the best thing for calcium and watermarks is lemon juice. Run some straight lemon juice down the side of that glass, maybe catch it at the bottom, but you don't have to worry too much because although it will raise the acidity of the soil is pretty neutral anyway. You're not going to do a lot of damage by adding a bit of lemon juice. If you're worried, water it down afterwards, like spray your enclosure, the soil, but it should be fine. But lemon juice will literally cut straight through it. Leave it, like, run it on, and then get like a sponge and just scrub it off. It's easy. I can't believe how easy it is. I've seen people have to use like knife blades and stuff in the past. I've never had to go to that extreme. I literally use like a scrub and like a sponge and lemon juice, and it might take a little while, not even that long actually, but it will work. Lemon juice is awesome. Coke also works. Thank you, Mantis Garden. Yeah, I suppose it's the acidity of it. It just dissolves stuff, doesn't it? So yeah, that's how we're going to be doing it. So I knew they only reach about 200. That's absolutely fine. That tank is perfectly sized for a colony of that size. Whereas the Polyrhacus dives could literally keep growing into the millions. I wouldn't say billions, but millions easily. And yeah, I'm going to need a lot more space. If they reach that size, which I do, I hope they do. But when I'm ready for it, I do not own a zoo. It is something I've considered. Maybe in the future, I might consider getting a zoo attached to my invert house instead of an invert house attached to a zoo, if you know what I mean. But that would be crazy talk. I have been offered a giraffe, basically. It was a few weeks back. I was sent a message saying there's one going. You'd have to get everything done properly, but would you be interested in a giraffe? And I was like, where the hell would I keep a giraffe? Like, yes, I've got a big garden, but I don't think it's quite giraffe worthy. And it kind of got me thinking, no, let's not invest in buying a zoo, especially at the minute because zoos are struggling. But yeah, it would be awesome to own a zoo, wouldn't it? I'd have lions, I'd have everything. I'd definitely have a giraffe because apparently there's one going. I get offered all sorts of weird things. You'd be very surprised at what I might turn up with one day. I don't know if it's legal, most of it. It probably isn't. But I do get offered quite a few different things. Good evening, Paul. You've just finished work. Well, I hope you've had a good time at work tonight and you've not had to chase anyone out or send any texts firing people or anything. I just hope you've had a better night tonight, buddy. How are you, Paul? I hope you're good. I've actually already talked about you several times. If you haven't subscribed to his Facebook, check out his Facebook. I don't think you've got a channel yet or anything else, have you? You've just got the Facebook. Make sure you're following him on Facebook, though. Cookie Reptiles. They will be, Paul will be at the Bristol show. Awesome. Going through my Paul, you realise you've missed most of the show. I don't know what else I'm going to talk about. You've missed all the fun bits. We're feeding them ham at the minute. Why not, eh? We only started this feed I don't know, about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes before I started talking. So about an hour ago, we put in the first slice and then we put in the second and third slice about 20-ish minutes after that. Not today. You've had a good night. That's good. That's good. It's good to hear. I'm going to need your help at some point, Paul, because my snake has had a poo. And if you're free tomorrow or fairly soon, I'll get you to come up and help, like, hold the snake and get it out. And we'll get the missus to clean the poo. Well, you know, I mean, we'll get valuable employees to whatever. Oh dear. Like, everyone remember, it is bank holiday tomorrow. If you've got an outstanding order with me that you've placed over the weekend, it is not coming out. It will be out on Tuesday, be with you Wednesday, possibly Thursday, depending on the postman, because we all know what they're like. Might even be with you next month, depending on the postman, because I say next month, that is 2 or 3 days. It might be with you in August, depending on the postman. But I will be posting everything out on Tuesday. You're off for 3 weeks now. Brilliant. So that was the last one. Woo, whoop, whoop. Party time. Well, do you feel relieved or lost? Because now you've got nothing to do for 3 weeks and you kind of had a, bit of a structure to it. Now you've got nothing to do. Nothing. Don't be staying up all night, because I know what you're like, and then I never be able to get hold of you during the day. Oh dear. So yes, bank holiday tomorrow. We will be posting out on Tuesday. Simple as that. I'll get everything ready Monday night and get it like booked in for collection. So when the orders go through as processed or whatever, when it sends you an email saying it's confirmed as posted, it's because it's booked in for collection. So you know. We don't normally do it like that, but that's the best way. When I've got a long list of orders to get through, to make sure I get every single one and do it correctly, I tend to do it like that. Just, it's like ticking them off, isn't it? Otherwise, go like do them all and then tick them off at the end. It makes more sense to me. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What else was there to talk about? I don't actually know. I'm sure there's a million other things to talk about. Oh, I have more snails. Lots of snails are going to be coming onto the website real soon. I don't think we've got any on the website at the moment, but we've got loads more babies coming up, like tons of them, as you can expect from snails. They're doing really well. They're about the size of a pea at the minute, so I want them a little bit larger. Their shells start to harden up a little, like around this size. Before that, they're really fragile, not worth sending at all, unless you don't mind if they come broken. I don't know, but I wouldn't feel comfortable sending them. You only have yeah, no, it's the same one, but I've got lots more of them coming up, is what I meant. I have looked at getting some more. The space for housing. I mean, Paul, you've seen what my office is like. It's pretty full, isn't it? And we've got enclosures that I can't even fit in the office at the minute. So yeah, I when I expand the office into a second room, we've got the stock room as well now to make more space in the office. Only hours, because I moved in the enclosures and they filled up the space straight away, and we still got more enclosures. So we now have the stock room and the office, and we need more space. So we'll probably expand into a second invert room at some point. I have no idea when, because I'm just doing a million things at a time at the minute, as I always am. But I just can't. I cannot build another room at the minute. I just can't. I just can't. That's why you move. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know what it's like. We all know what it's like. There's never enough space. I mean, I had to make space on a shelf the other day just for a couple more enclosures, and I literally had to like change around so much to make it work, and it was crazy. So yeah, I will be investing in it. Obviously, snails do actually take up a lot of space. Don't know if you like. Obviously, you know that, Mantis Garden, but the general public might not know. But snails, especially giant snails, take up a lot of space. Yeah, it costs a fortune. Thank you. That's why we cannot just keep. I can't do every project at the same time that I want to do because my budget isn't limitless, as we know. Quite often, I just don't have the money to do any of my projects. But then when I do get them, I tend to do as many as I can. But wow, 1,800 snails. I've got 32 baby Leos. Wow. So yeah, there you go. We all know the struggles. There's a lot going on. I just can't commit to having more snails. Not with everything. Now we've got mantises. You know, we've got so many mantises here, and we've got all the isopods here, and what else we got? We got lots of different stuff. 800 plus mantis. Yeah, you've got more than me. All right. Don't rub it in. That's too many there. So I'm just going to yawn a second. They say that's a lack of oxygen to the brain. It's not actually something to do with being tired, or it kind of is, but it's a lack of oxygen to the brain which causes you to yawn. But don't you find it catches? So if I was to yawn, someone else would yawn, I'm pretty sure. More on the way. Oh, God. Oh, God. See, that's the thing about them. They do breed really well. When they get going, they breed like, I don't know, tons of like babies at a time. Is that the right terminology? Are they babies? Do you call them baby mantises, or is there a specific name for a baby mantis? I'm sure there is, and I'm sure I'm just being stupid right now. Oh dear, oh dear. So, who is excited for coming? You call them nymphs. See, I knew that. I was thinking they call them nymphs, but then something in my brain was like, no, that's roaches and other stuff. But yeah, who is excited about Bristol? I am super excited about the Bristol event. In fact, I've got the map in front of me and it is coloured, and I'm gonna read off a few of the traders coming to Bristol. Obviously, we have myself, Answer Us, and Unseen Universe. They're absolutely fantastic shops to join us. We have Baz Ants and Ant Farm Supplies. We have Cookie Reptiles. We have Creepy Crawly UK. They're going to be worth checking out. Definitely go check out Creepy Crawly UK. They're one of the biggest stores right towards the back of the room. As you know from what I do, I put the bigger stores at the back of the room. It's just what I do. Who else we got? We got Hurtmania, E&L Binding Crafts. They're going to be doing some amazing stuff there as well. E&L Binding Crafts, do head over to them. The thing that I can never pronounce, the one that I can never pronounce, Fipidus Spider, Jumping Spider Palace, I'm going to call them. No, I really can't. My brain won't even let me try and pronounce it. The one next to Paul, head over to that. Invert Sanctum, excited to see them. Creature Courage, they're doing like tarantula handling and that sort of stuff. Head over to Creature Courage if you've got any kind of reservations when it comes to spiders. Thank you, Mantis Garden. I can't pronounce that. Someone's going to have to like train me, because I feel really rude as well, because they came to the Bristol show. I've spoken to her for absolutely ages. She's a lovely lady, but I can't even pronounce the name of her business. It's awful. So someone teach me that, please. Time Voyager Taxidermy, that's going to be awesome. Mariposa Jewellery, they are awesome as well. They came to the last Bristol event and the Weymouth event. I will say the Weymouth event, I think I mentioned this on the stream last time, they really impressed me with their jewellery, because it's not like one-sided, it's three-dimensional dinosaur jewellery and stuff. It was very cool. My missus ended up buying dinosaurs, mainly because it's the Jurassic Coast. Why not? Really easy. Well, that is one thing that I really struggle to do, unless I don't know why. My brain just won't do it. So, Fidipus, Fidipus, pan. See, is that right? Fidipus. It doesn't sound right to me. I don't know. Who else we got coming? We got N enclosures. They do sort of tarantula enclosures and stuff, which is going to be super exciting. Wildlife Trust. Face painters. Obviously, thank you, Matt. Garden. Obviously, we got face painters, we got entertainers, we got lots of stuff to entertain the kids. But you can go and enjoy face paint too. It's not strictly for the younger ones. I probably go and get my face painted. I usually do. I'm going to try and get it done towards the end of the show because I learned at the Bristol show if you get it done like first thing, and you got to walk about with it all day. You got to do all your interviews and streams, and anyone that wants to chat to me in a professional manner has to deal with me in face paint. So, I mean, at Weymouth, I turned into a dinosaur. It was absolutely amazing. Tom's Funky Face Paints did a dinosaur and he made its mouth my mouth. So when I roared, it roared and it was awesome. So, yeah, it's not just for kids. Do go get your face painted if you want to have a bit of fun. Who else have we got? Curtis Lokin, Spinks Bugs. Yeah, we've got some really great names. Charlotte's Webs, Opal Geckos, Arachna Moria, National Exotics Animal Rescue Services. Like I said, it's going to be a great, great show. We've got a really cool lineup of exhibits coming as well. Some which are new to the shows and some which are making a return. Obviously, the leaf cutters will be there. So, yeah, do head over to the exhibits. They'll be in the far corner from the door. So, you'll have to work your way across all of the traders to get there. And I'm sure you'll make plenty of awesome purchases along the way. And then on your return journey, you may as well stop by the main stage, which is, again, on your way backwards. That way, if you kind of go that way, I would be going. It just make whatever. There's the main stage over in the other corner from the exhibit area, and there'll be tons of seating there. So if you need to just sit down for 5 minutes, you're more than welcome to just go grab a seat. You don't have to pay attention. We're not going to force you to pay attention to the talks. You don't even have to. You can sit there anytime. Whatever. There will be other demos going on around the room as well. All be listed on schedules, posted with maps. In fact, that's something else I should do. Ding. Another idea. That's going in the book. 2 seconds. And where's my pen? Oh no. Whenever you need whenever you need a pen, you'll never find a pen. How annoying is it? Right. There. Oh, there. There we go. That is now in the notebook, and that will probably be done very soon. So yeah, there will be schedules and maps around the room with other bits of information and whatnot. Obviously, on the main reception desk, if you get lost, but I doubt you'll get lost. But yeah, the schedules will be posted because there's lots going on. The schedule is already on the website. If you go onto the Bristol event itself, the information, I think you need to go to the read all bit or even click on the schedule bit, but it is there, and you can even use that to plan out your day because all the timings and locations are there as well. So we've got stuff going on over at Cookies Reptiles. We've got stuff at Baz Ants. We've got stuff at Ant Farm Supplies. We've got some really cool demos going on around the room, as well as the creature experiences that we've got a couple of as well. So yeah, it's going to be a really good event, really interesting. I'm hoping we have a really good turnout as well. We've got some amazing traders coming, and it's getting better. Like not getting better, getting more. What's the word? Getting more hype about it, I suppose. Lots more people getting more involved in ants and wanting to come check out the ants. It'll be really great to get people to come along and go, actually, I really want these. And, even if they don't buy from me or anyone at the show, they have that fascination with ants. But I say, if you're interested in pretty much any inverts, the likeliness is you're going to be interested in ants. The minute they start feeding like this or running about all the tunnels, you're going to get pretty interested, and they're pretty cool. Might come to Bristol depending on how many Nymphs I have at a time don't want to leave my son with too many. That is an absolute fair statement, Mantis Garden. But you should definitely come to Bristol. It is going to be. I'm I'm saying this is going to be the best show of the year. Sheffield was absolutely amazing. Weymouth again, a great show. But this one, I think, is really going to top the other ones. Staff wise, we've sorted all the issues sort of behind the scenes. All the admin stuff is sorted, all the organisation sorted. So, it's taken us a few attempts. I don't mind saying that. Obviously, it has been a learning process for myself as an organizer. But I think I've done a lot more or done a much better job on this show than I have on any others in the past. Just organisation. Well, pretty much, I'm done. Like we've got months to go before the show, and I have nothing left to organise. Normally, I'm still organising things a week or two before, so that's you know what I mean. It's have to yeah okay no worries man. It's Garden. Thank you for coming in, buddy. But come to Bristol, buy a raffle ticket. But buy several. I don't know. I'm just I'm just chucking it out there. Oh dear. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. It's gonna be a good day. Gonna be a good day. The wife should be there as well. So if you haven't met the wife before, and possibly all the kids, they're gonna be there. They are well behaved. Don't worry, they're not annoying little kids. They are generally well behaved. You might hear Evie a little bit as she sits in her chair and plays on her iPad and stuff like that. But generally, the other two are going to be super helpful little staff members of mine. In fact, if you saw my stall at the Weymouth event, almost a Kayla, and we had Amy stamping people as they came in on the door and welcoming people, which was really good as well. She's got a great bubbly attitude. The thing about Amy, right? I tell her everyone needs a stamp on their hand. Make sure everyone gets a stamp, and she can be pretty forceful. So people coming in, she's like, "Don't forget your stamp. I haven't stamped you yet." Kapow! She's pretty forceful about it, but she's sweet, bless her. She's enforcing the rules and making sure everyone's got their stamp. So I've got no problem with that. But she is absolutely awesome. So she's great to have on that. So I'm guessing it's 10 o'clock because the light just turned off on the tank. That's what that was. The flash. And all the other lights are turning off around the room now. The lights on the shelves in front of me don't turn off till about 11:15, half 10, 11:45 ish. Don't know why I did it like that, but I just did. Probably because I still need some light. I don't know. Right, I've just got you a present from. Oh, okay, Paul. That's interesting. You have to tell me about that. Or no, you have to bring it to me. I suppose I could just wait and see what it is. But right, I am heading towards the end of the stream. If anyone's got any last comments or questions, please do chuck them in now. Otherwise, I'm gonna head off to bed. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna make a sandwich. Then I'm gonna head to bed because I am hungry and tired. I've been getting really into my sandwich again lately. Now I say as a person, sandwich to snack, anything in a sandwich. You can have a pizza sandwich, but that's a bit weird. But lasagna sandwich, corned beef sandwich, roast dinner sandwich. You can have pretty much anything in a sandwich. So you have like I don't know, some kind of awesome sandwich, and then go get to bed because I am knackered. It's surprising how much gardening takes out of you. I mean, I know that like my hands were actually like vibrating after I put the strimmer down, but I was going at it for hours, literal hours, like probably 3 or 4 hours I was strimming for. We've got quite a substantial garden, was huge, it was ridiculous. Awesome, Paul, thank you. Um, so yeah, I am absolutely knackered. But I am going to end the stream now. A massive, massive thank you to all of you for joining me for another one of my random chats because I do chat a lot of randomness tonight. Didn't really touch on ants that much. Bit, lots more random chat. But it's been good fun. I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Please do come back for our next stream Wednesday, and then of course we'll be here next Sunday as well. I do actually have a topic. A topic to chat about on Wednesday as well, not just a random chat. So that'll be interesting for you all. Massive thank you to our sponsors, Answer Us and Valhalla Martial Arts. And of course, a massive thank you to our Patreon supporters as well. But really, I say this every time, you guys coming in a stream, you're absolutely fantastic. And it means just as much to me with or without the Patreon support or whatever you want to call it. It really does make the streams much more awesome having a crowd here. So yeah, you're all absolutely awesome. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm knackered, I'm hungry. I'll catch you again soon. So as always for me, I'll see you again soon, Ant fans. Good night.